and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, it is my September wrap-up, so this is what all the books I read in September. So in the month of September, I read 6 books, and yeah, I am currently also reading in the middle of one that is a very long one, so you guys will figure out what it is further in this video. So without further ado, let us start with what I read on my Hoopla library app. So on my phone, I use this library app, and it's called Hoopla, and it allows me to download, you can download books onto your phone, comics onto your phone, even movies, TV shows, and music as well. So it is a really helpful app, especially when you're like me and you can't be bothered to drive your ass to the library. So you just download books onto your phone. So it's very helpful, and I use it all the time. So the first book, or the only book that I read on my Hoopla app this month was Lock and Key Volume 2, which is called Head Games. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This book is about this family. Since it's a second one, I'm going to be explaining what the series as a whole is about. It's about this family who moves to a small town in Maine called, I think it's Lovecraft, Maine. And they move into this spooky house, and there's a demon or something, residing in it. And yeah, it is by Joe Hill, and I believe Gabriel something. And yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy this series. It's very interesting, and honestly, the only thing that I really wrote, to talk about, talking points, was that the book is interesting as a whole, and I will be continuing on the series, hopefully, during the spooky season. But if not, that's fine. Moving on to books, my physical books that I read this month. And if you guys follow my channel for a while, you would kind of get the flow of how my vlogs, my wrap-ups kind of go. So I'll start by talking about either a TV series that I finished, which I don't really watch much TV. I just watch YouTube, and that's pretty much it. So I don't really talk about that. And then I'll go on to my Hoopla library books I read, and then I'll go to my physical books I read. This month, I started this month doing something a little different on my Instagram, where I posted stories, polls on my stories, and asked you guys, which one did you want me to read? Which genre? And I let you guys pick between 2 genres that you wanted me to read from, and then I read that. So you will see later on in October my bookshelf tour. Of course, the TV is not going to be in there because, my boyfriend didn't end up giving it to me until recently. So yeah, and this is the only spot where it's gonna go, so it can go. So I just got some lo-fi Halloweeny music going on it, just to add some interest. But anyways, you don't care about that, or maybe you do. I'll just kind of briefly go down through what my genres are, so that you guys get an idea of all the genres you can choose from. And if you would like to participate in these polls, my link tree is linked in the description, where you can find my Instagram, as well as my Goodreads if you want to see what I'm reading currently at the moment. So I have several series, I have several genres that I organize these shelves in. So in this shelf, I have this one you see here, thriller, paranormal, can't really see it, sci-fi, and then at the very bottom, contemporary. The shelf behind me is where the TV is at, is favorite authors, which include Michael Crichton, Nora Roberts, and Stephen King, even though he's not really technically my favorite author, but I do own a lot of his books, so more than usual, so I just decided to put him on my favorite author shelf. Yeah. And then on the bottom is all my classics. Then you can choose from series that I'm currently reading and nonfiction, which is on this shelf that you can't really see. Okay, so now that you know, like, the general idea of the series, or the genres that you can choose from, let's go on to what this video is actually about and what I read. So, the first book that I ended up reading was Meet Me on Love Lane by Nina Boki. And let's see, this is a contemporary book, and I'll be putting screenshots over here of what the polls are. So you guys chose between science fiction and contemporary / romance. You guys chose 33% of you guys chose science fiction, and 67% of you guys chose contemporary / romance. So I obviously contemporary won, and I chose Meet Me on Love Lane by Nina Boki. This book is a beautiful cover. It's very fallish and cute, but it doesn't take place in fall. I know, this book is basically clickbait. This actually takes place in summertime. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know, like, I didn't really enjoy it as much, so I rated it 2 out of 5 stars. The summary of this book is about a girl, and she moves back to her small town, her small hometown. And she rekindles this relationship with 2 guys, and she also lost her childhood memories. So throughout this book, you're kind of like getting her memories back and like learning her memories while she's learning them. And there's like a love triangle, but also not really, because it's more about like this one relationship with her and this guy, whereas like the other guy is completely forgotten. So like, I don't know, it was kind of dumb, plus like I just hated how much clickbait this was, because I was really in the mood for a fall cute Hallmark romance, and this, even in the description, or like a little snippet, it says, fans of Hallmark Channel rom-coms will flip over this sassy love story. And like, I'm kind of a fan of Hallmark rom-coms, especially if I can make fun of them. And like, you know, I was really in that mood for a fall Hallmark rom-com, and yeah, this book takes place in summer. Honestly, the cover has nothing to do with the story at all. But I'm just so frustrated because I love this cover, but like, I don't know. It's just so done. The only thing I liked about this book was that it was an easy read. I believe it was, 282 pages. So like, I don't know, I just kind of flew through this book, so that was a plus. But what I hated was that it's not in fall. It doesn't take place in fall. There's a lot of time jumps. The characters had 0 chemistry, and you weren't like rooting for them, you know? Whereas in Hallmark movies, like, I don't know, like, they're stupid, but also you root for them too. So there is at least a little bit of chemistry, whereas this one had zero chemistry. There was like a mean mom, which like didn't really add to the story in my opinion, like so dumb. And then like another dumb thing was like loss of memory. Like the reason why she loses her memory is because her mom was mean. And that's why. Isn't that dumb? Yeah. I don't know. Doesn't really make sense in my opinion. And it was very, very, very cliche. So I did not like this. 2 out of 5 stars. Meet me on Love Lane, Nina Boki. Nina Boki, come on. Don't clickbait. Don't do clickbait, okay? It makes readers hate your books more. Like, come on. Alright, so the next book that I read this month was Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi, or The Complete Persepolis. And this is like a memoir. So I had you guys choose between a memoir or a series. 60% of you guys chose a memoir, and 40% of you guys chose a series. Memoir obviously won, and this is what I chose to read, and I actually really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars for me. Like, I loved this so much. It also, like, flew by because it's also, like, a comic book, too, of, like, Marjane's, like, experience. So, I don't know, I just really enjoyed this book. What it's about is about Marjane's experience growing up in Iran with the revolution going on in the late 70s, early 80s, as well as like the Iranian and Iraq like war that was going on after the fact of the revolution, and there was heavy like demand for women to wear their veils, and but it was really interesting, and I highly recommend this, especially if it interests you in, like, you know, it's a quick read and like heavy topics, but a very quick read, and I really enjoyed it. I liked the story. It was a page turner. I learned a lot because honestly, as an American, we are very self-centered, especially in like the education system. And I honestly had no clue like that there was an Iranian like revolution in the 70s and 80s. And I didn't even know that like even Iran and Iraq were in a war. So like, yeah, call me stupid, but I'm blaming the education system of America. But I learned a lot from this book. I also especially liked the art in this book as well. I liked the women's rights discussion, like with like explaining about the veil. The discussion on women's rights in this book actually really made me think of this class I took in college, which was women's literature, and I absolutely loved that class. And actually we did read a Marjane Satrapi book called Embroideries that I really enjoyed as well. So yeah. There wasn't really anything I hated in this book. Like, I could not think of one single thing that I hate in this book. So 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. Alright, next book that I read was The Vampire Diaries, The Fury and Dark Reunion by L.J. Smith, which is the second book in the 11-book series called The Vampire Diaries. And yes, it is inspired by the show. Or not inspired, but the books came first, and the show was inspired by the books, I guess. let's see, you guys chose The Vampire Diaries, and you guys had a choice between a series and science fiction. 60% of you guys chose a series, and 40% of you guys chose science fiction. Yeah. I'm not really going to be talking about this book very much because I am currently making a vampire vlog series for this, so I will discuss it more in that vlog. But just know that The Vampire Diaries is not my favorite. Yeah. And I gave this at least 3 out of 5 stars, so it was like higher than the first book. Yeah, okay. Alright, the next book that I tried to read was The Snowman by Jo Nesbø. Now, I did DNF this book. I'm just kind of going through order in which I read everything this month, so that's also something different in this video. But anyways, you guys chose between a thriller and paranormal. You guys, 100% of you guys chose a thriller, and 0% of you guys chose a paranormal story. So, a thriller it was, and thriller I did not enjoy. I DNF'd this book at page 75, so let me just get to that really quick. Let's see, so that I could show you how far I was, like, page-wise. So I was, like, that far. Not very far into it. Actually, so it was at 19%. I actually tried reading this in December of 2020, and I also DNF'd it because it was just so, like, boring and, like, just hard to get into, in my opinion. I can't really get into the writing style. It was very, just not really me. Not something I enjoy. And, like, honestly, are crime dramas really for me? I don't think so. I know that last year during this time I read, let's see, it was like Halloween Murder, and it was also a crime drama, but I didn't really enjoy it. More entertaining than this book, though. I'm gonna try to get more into crime dramas, especially from, like, point of view of the detective, but it's just really hard to get through. I honestly wished I liked this book more, because it's, like, a Norwegian crime book, and I honestly just love Norway and anything to do with Norway, which is, I don't know, I think that's pretty funny. Pretty quirky of me, but, like, I don't know, that's honestly why I wanted to get into this book. I know I read another Scandinavian book a while ago called Let Me In, or Let the Right One In, by John something Lindqvist, and I really enjoyed that, which I do want to reread because I didn't really talk about it on this channel. So yeah, except for, like, this one time now. But yeah, I honestly wished I liked this book more, but I don't. Alright, the next book that I read was Animal Farm by George Orwell. You guys didn't really choose this one because, like, I just kind of decided to read it on my own, just, like, while I was waiting for you guys to choose the next book on my to read what you wanted me to read. So, like, throughout that, like, decision, I read this in 24 hours. Animal Farm by George Orwell. I actually gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved this book. The summary is, I'm sure you know, but I'm going to explain about it again in case you haven't read this in high school. And the summary is about these animals, barn animals, who take over the farm and run the farm. And it's just basically a commentary about government and communism and dictatorship and even capitalism. I really, really, really enjoyed this book. I did sticky tab it, I guess, tab it. I don't normally tab most of my books. I just tab the ones that I feel like I need to. And this was the one that I felt like I needed to. What I liked and hated about this book. This is actually my second read through this book. The first read that I ever did for this book was when I was a sophomore in high school, so I was 15, and we were forced to read this book in class. And by my wording, forced, you will probably understand that I freaking hated this book. Yeah, I did not like it. I thought it was boring, and I thought it was the worst book ever written. Well, my opinions have changed. I am now 22 years old as opposed to 15. And after reading this for the second time, I really enjoyed it. I liked the commentary on about government, and yeah, I liked it. So the next and last book that I read was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I didn't really enjoy this book. I think it's just that teen YA angsty John Green-esque books are not for me. And that is basically what this book is. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Oh, wait, I should probably tell you guys what you guys picked. How many of you picked it? So you guys had a choice between, I want to do something different because I know I wanted to read this book, but I also wanted to read another one. And they were both contemporary. So I decided to actually name the names, So I had you guys choose between All the Bright Places, and I put a synopsis on there, and Birds in Fall, which I also put a synopsis in there. And 100% of you guys chose All the Bright Places, 0% of you guys chose Birds in Fall. So obviously All the Bright Places won. But yeah, am I a little disappointed in this book because I thought I was going to enjoy it more? Yeah, I am. But that's okay. It just kind of shows that different readers have different experiences reading this book, because I know a plethora of people who really enjoyed it, and I know a handful of people who didn't. So, yeah. The summary of this book. 2 people meet at the ledge of, a building, and, it's very, heavy. Trigger warnings for depression, suicidal thoughts, family violence, yeah, just a lot. Those are the trigger warnings that I can think of. I'll probably put my whole trigger warnings up on the screen, so yeah. Anyways, it's about 2 people who meet on the ledge when they are contemplating suicide, and they fall in love. And it's a quirky mental health QA or YA romance, and I hate it. Mainly because of the representation of bipolar disorder in it. I think I'm going to be making a video all on its own of this book, but who knows, because I have many books that I want to make. Yeah, I'll just do that. Anyways, just thinking aloud. But I'm just gonna briefly explain. I'll explain more in its own video, but my mom has bipolar disorder, and as someone who frequently like witnesses what she goes through in her mania and her like depression phases, I just feel like this book didn't really do it justice, I guess. It's hard to explain. My thoughts are probably in disorder right now because, I don't know, they just are. So I think I'm definitely going to be making its own video of this. It's probably going to be less than 20 minutes. I'll try to make it less than 20 minutes, unlike this video. Anyways, the only things I really liked about this book was the writing was pretty good. The characters were pretty okay. They were like believable, and it was a fun read, I guess. I really liked the story up until part 3, and yeah. Mainly up until, like, you know, one of them, or Finch learns that he's bipolar. That just kind of threw me off. Yeah. And I know that bipolar, there's different, like, because it's mental health and stuff, different people experience different things when they have that disorder. But, like, I don't know, I just feel like this book really, it, like, makes it seem like all bipolar people are, like, wanting to kill themselves, and, like, it's just not okay, in my opinion. What I hated about this book was that it was very John Green-esque, and if you know me, you know I do not like John Green's writing. I read all, I was gonna say All the Bright Places. I read Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska, tried to read An Abundance of Catherine's, and I have read The Fault in Our Stars, but I haven't reread it as, like, a 22-year-old, so I have no say in that. But I can say that I don't really enjoy his writing as much. I hated part 3 in this book because it was very cliche as well. And also, like, about, like, all bipolar people are suicidal. It just made it seem like that when you were reading this, and I do not like the representation in this book. It was very quirky, but not really original, because, like I said, it is very reminiscent of a John Green book. Yeah, please don't take my opinions as, like, offensive or anything. They're just my own opinions. I know a lot of people who really love this book, and I do not want to get into any beef with people who very much love this book. So, yeah, these are just my own opinions. Okay. Alright, so those are all the books that I officially finished in September, but I also wanted to tell you guys about what I'm currently reading. And the reason why I want to tell you guys is that just in case you guys don't see my Vlogtober vlogs, which I am going to be vlogging all of October, so yeah, and I'm going to try to make, like, the videos under 30 minutes, but who really knows at this point? But anyways, I just, like, in case you don't want to watch over 30 minutes of vlog footage, I just wanted to let you guys know, maybe in October I will not be reading as much, volume of books, like number of books, because I'm currently reading this big boy, and it is The Stand by Stephen King. I am, let's see, 200 pages in, so, like, I think that much. And it's a 1,150 page beast. So that is what I'm currently reading, and I'm just sticking with this to read for now, because it's just a beast and I want to get it done. I am like enjoying it. It's just that like it's really slow, and it also is very reminiscent of Miss Corona. Miss Rona, yeah, and like the pandemic and stuff, and it's a bit like jarring to read in a book that was written in the 80s, and then like just reading it and then noticing like there is no difference between this and Rona, really, and it's just I'm enjoying it so far. There's a lot of characters in it, so it's hard to tell like who is who and whose name belongs with who, but yeah. Also, my boyfriend, another thing, is that I am reading some of his comics, and I do not really want to talk about them on like vlogs and stuff or include them in what I read. Not vlogs, but I don't want to include them in what I read, like these videos, because like they're comics, you know. I don't know. My brain's just weird, but yeah, I haven't started those, but he's letting me read Moon Knight, Spider-Man, and all the superhero comics. So probably in my vlogs for October, you will see me reading those as well, because I'm trying to read them and then so I can give them back to him and get more. Anyways, yeah. So those are my reading plans in October. Not very much, but like honestly, if I can get through The Stand, I am golden. I am happy. I also kind of want to read other like Halloween-y, like moody books, but like yeah, we'll see. Anyways, that is what I'm doing. That is the plans. Thank you so much for watching. That will be all today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you read this month and what your plans for spooky October are to read. Also, have you guys read The Stand before? Let me know in the comments as well. I'd love to know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want, feel free to subscribe. I post mainly bookish related content, but I do sometimes post like other things as well. Just whatever I'm in the mood for, honestly, but it's mainly books. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye. Be sure to follow my Instagram and Goodreads. I post all my updates on Instagram as well as fun pictures, and I post everything that I'm reading currently on Goodreads. So if that's interesting to you, please follow. Link in the description.